Howdy folks, I'm Darren, and welcome to 8th Day Chronicles here at Cross Timbers Farm. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful day. This is the day the Lord's made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Checking the oil level in my pull behind Agri-Fab brush hog. We are getting ready to head to the middle pasture. Oh, my oil level's perfect. Clean oil too. To our middle pasture where we rotationally graze our sheep. We moved the sheep off that pasture 2 days ago, and now they're in the west pasture. Rotational grazing to keep the parasite load down. Since we've been getting rain, we're having to move our sheep a little more often, at least every 7 days now. When it was so dry back a couple months ago, we had went without rain for months, and the parasite load was pretty low. You can have warm temperatures, but if it's really, really dry, the parasite load does not reproduce and explode like it would now when we've been getting rain every other day, and sometimes some good rains. We're still in a drought, but we've been getting some rains, and now you've got the heat and the wet ground humidity. That is a recipe for barber pole worm infestation to explode. So we're moving our sheep at the minimum, or I shouldn't say minimum, the maximum of every 7 days until fall comes and the temperature goes down, or we go back into no rain, which is very possible. However, we got first cut hay to do on the test plot. It's ready. It's ready. But now we're getting rains again, so we're just having to wait on that window. 3rd gen Lola's crowing for you. So the first 5-day window we get, it looks like no rain. I'll watch Fernando's forecast, and when he says there's a 5-day window, then we'll cut that test plot. It's ready. But for today, we are managing our pastures for our Katahdin / St. Croix hair sheep flock, and they've been off that pasture for 2 days. And where it was so dry for so long, it's starting to regrow pretty good. However, there is one particular weed that I need to get rid of, at least clip it. They will eat the autumn olive leaves that try to pop up in little places where we've cut them out. They'll eat plantain, they'll eat all kind of weeds. There's one weed that's coming on in these pastures, not hay fields, but pastures, that we need to get rid of, and they're starting to bloom, and we do not want them to go to seed, so we're going to go along and clip them off to keep them from going to seed, and that is the ugly devil weed called horse nettle. I don't know of anything that'll eat horse nettle. That stuff is a plant from Hades. I despise it. I don't know anybody that likes it. Our animals don't like it. Nothing likes it. And I don't want it to keep spreading in our fields. So I'm going to go with the ATV and the Agri-Fab pull behind brush hog. We're heading to that field to clip it at a certain height. That ought to stimulate the grass to start growing a little better too, because we've had plenty of rain the last few days. Checked my rain gauge yesterday, and over the last 3 days, we've had 3.75 inches of rain. Thank you, Lord. So the grass ought to take off really good, especially since we've moved the sheep off that field and it's in a resting state now. We need to trim it to keep those horse nettle seeds from turning into fruit and seed and spreading. And it won't hurt the grass any either to go along and give this stuff a haircut. We're not cutting it low. We got our bush hog set to a decent height. I think it's cutting about 4 inches. If you go much higher than that, you'll miss the horse nettle seeds, because horse nettle don't grow, you know, way high like goldenrod or something. It's a lower growing plant, and you need to be able to at least hit it to knock off the blooms and the seed heads and clip them. So we've got our oil checked in our Agri-Fab bush hog. I just filled it up with fuel. And speaking of, I went yesterday and filled up our Vivor 30-gallon fuel caddy. Good grief, that hurt the pocketbook. But it's full. Again, fuel on a farm is essential for all this equipment. And we got the four-wheeler gassed up. Let's head to the field and start mowing. I don't really call it mowing, clipping that pasture. Ultra important for pasture management. Wanted to stop the mowing for just a second, or clipping, and show you what I'm talking about. We've got horse nettle in this field like crazy, and this is not hay fields. We don't treat these. Here's why we're trimming these. Here's why we're clipping these fields. See this horse nettle? Look at the bloom on it. Can you see that bloom coming on? Right there. Right there. Before long, look at the blooms starting on this one, right here. Right there. And you can see there is no shortage of horse nettle in this area right now. Okay, look at the blooms on this one. Ultra important we clip this pasture now before these turn to seed. Get them cut. Let's continue on. Way Yaw is down there patrolling the fences. She goes all around the perimeter of the fences about once an hour, and every now and then you see her throw her nose up in there like she's catching a scent of something. and she'll start barking a little bit. That's a Pyrenees' first defense, is to bark. They got to bark like a roaring lion. And what she's telling coyotes and stray dogs and everything else around is, hey, I'm the alpha here. I'm the bull of the woods. If you come up in this field or near this field, I'm gonna hand you your hind end. She's turning out to be fantastic. Y'all's turning out to be a fantastic livestock dog. I mean, she's very people friendly, but if you're another animal that don't belong in this, around this farm or on this field, she'll put it on the move. And she probably already weighs about 80, 82, 83 pounds. And she's only about 7 months old. And she's just gonna get bigger and bigger. And for to be as young as she is, holy cow, she's doing a good job. I mean, a fantastic job. And she comes from a line of working dogs. They are not apartment pets. I couldn't imagine keeping a dog that big and trying to train that thing to stay inside. I just can't. I see people on Facebook and stuff that do that with Great Pyrenees, and I'm like, that's not what that dog was bred to do. That's not where the area they come from, the Pyrenean Mountains, that's not what those dogs do. And people complain, how do I keep my dog from chewing my couch up? On and on, this crazy stuff. And I want to say, put that dog outside where it belongs, where the good Lord intended that thing to be, and give it a job. If you don't have a farm or animals to guard or something like that, or large property, even if you don't farm, just large property for a dog like that to patrol on and roam, that's their whole purpose. Their happiness, you can tell. You can take a dog like that and put it in a confined area, and they're miserable. You can just look at them and tell they're miserable. They're like, this ain't what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be out patrolling, running the field, barking at coyotes, doing my job. My job's not to be a lap dog. There's other breeds for stuff like that, if that's what you like. I have never understood that. Then people complain. She's down there now along the fence line. And to be 6 months, 7 months old, man, is she doing awesome. Awesome, awesome. She come from a reputable farm in Tennessee, from a gentleman that knows what he's doing about raising livestock guardian dogs. And she's doing an awesome job. Oakley, our other livestock guard dog, is getting old. She's 11 going on 12, and she's getting arthritis pretty bad. And Oakley just don't get out and patrol like she used to. She just kind of lays in the shade and kind of takes it easy. Now, if Waya got in a skirmish back here with some roaming dogs or coyotes or a bobcat or something, Oakley would jump up and be down there in a heartbeat. But she just don't patrol much no more, and we don't expect her to. She's getting old. She's getting arthritic. Her hips are getting arthritis in them bad. You can see her hobbling a little bit. We just let Oakley be comfortable. She done her job on this farm for 10 years, as good as a livestock guardian dog could be. So she deserves that rest in her older age. As a matter of fact, we have talked to the breeder that we got Waya from, and we have put in an order for another puppy. These livestock guardian dogs work best in tandem. They need, at the minimum, another dog with them too. And Oakley's getting so old, she just can't go like she used to. So when we get another puppy and start getting it trained, we will retire Oakley to the front pasture where she don't have to patrol. She can just lay in her comfy little doghouse where it's cool of the summer and warmer of the winter, and she can just lay there and watch the chickens. And if she needs to get up and go run something off from a chicken coop, it's only 10 yards away. So we'll make her comfortable for the rest of her life because she deserves it. But we are going to be getting another puppy at some point. Probably in about 3 or 4 months, we should have another full-blood Great Pyrenees puppy from that line. Not the same dam, but the same sire in a different dam. So, man, we visited that farm and looked at those dogs and watched them for a long time, the parents and siblings of the parents of Leia, and I was impressed to no end. They was awesome, and Leia is showing those same characteristics. Man, is she a good one. Just comes natural to her to be protective of those sheep, to bond to them, or goats, or whatever you have, to bond to them and stay right with them. And man, she is security central. If you were a bobcat or a coyote and she got after you, you'd have your hands full. You'd be scooting as fast as you could get gone. And her that young. And she's only going to get better and better and better. All right, we got more chores to do. I'll be back with you. Boy, it's a hot day here today. We've got our little pull-behind sprayer loaded up, and no, I'm not spraying on the farm today. Even though I may spray a little bit around our home along our driveway with what I've got left. What I'm doing today is helping out a neighbor. A neighbor knows that I have this little small-scale spraying equipment, and they asked me if I mind to spray their gravel driveway. And man, I'm telling you, I said I'll be so happy to do that for you, because these are fantastic neighbors. And when you run a farm, you need to be on a first name basis and a good relationship with your neighbors. You could have animals get out, whatever, and you need to be able to have a fantastic relationship with those neighbors where they will call you if they see anything odd going on with your animals, or if they're out, they happen to be near the property lines or something. Man, we got some fantastic neighbors. I don't care if our neighbors come down here and walk around in the field or nothing. Don't bother me at all. I know they'll shut the gates behind them. They're respectful. They're good Christian people. And we need to be likewise. The cross, the barbed wire cross on our farm logo is not just a logo. When my daughters were small, I preached to them constantly. And here's what I said to them. I said, listen, I can go around every single day, multiple times a day, and tell you, I love you. I can just keep saying it all day long. I love you. I love you. If I never put no movement and feet and action behind those words, it means nothing. It literally means nothing. Put your money where your mouth is, in other words. I can tell my wife Susan, and Lord knows that I do, I can say, honey, I love you with all my heart. If I never do action, do anything to show her that love, those words mean nothing. They're just empty words. The cross on our logo here at Cross Timbers Farm means something. It's not just a neat looking logo, a cross made out of barbed wire. It means something to me and Susan. You put action behind those words. And our faith and belief in God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we got to put feet to those words. If we say we believe and we're going to do our dead level best to do His will, then we need to be willing to put our hands to the task and do some work. We're going to go do some spraying for our neighbor today, and we're using all of our equipment. Now that does not matter. You got to put your action into your words. And we're going to go help out a neighbor today and do some spraying for them and some little bit of cleanup around their driveway and areas, pick up some sticks and things like that and tidy up, and use our ATV and our sprayer and spray the grass out of their gravel we're using glyphosate. They know what we're using. I told them I could spray it with glyphosate, in other words Roundup, for a commercial name. And I've mixed it appropriate, and we're going to go spray. They know we're coming to spray today, so they won't have any animals right in their driveway for the next day or so, and just for safety reasons. And you got to put some action. You got to put your hands to the plow sometimes and show what that cross on our Cross Timbers Farm logo means and what cross timbers mean. Cross. All right, let's go get at it. I'm not going to be filming there. It makes me a little uncomfortable to film in a situation like that where I'm not on my property. Now, I don't mind too if I've already spoken to someone about it and they agree, but I've not spoken to these folks about recording or filming anything. So I'm just gonna turn the camera off here, and I'll be back with you when I'm done. All right, we are done spraying for our neighbors. It's hard to do some of this stuff one-handed. Hold the camera. Go back into the barn. Man, it's another scorching hot day. Wow, I worked up a sweat just riding around on the four-wheeler with the booms out on that little sprayer, spraying a gravel driveway in a gravel parking lot. Wow, it's hot, but it's a beautiful day. I'm staying here watching our sheep right down here in the west pasture, just grazing away. And I wish this camera I'm using don't have zoom. I wished I could zoom in on that. Waya, our livestock guardian dog, one of them, our young one, she's still a pup, but she's laying down there with one of them, and it looks like they're just licking on each other. She has bonded right in with those sheep. Man, I'm telling you, she is worth her weight in gold. All right, we're going to clean up a few things. I've already washed out my sprayer. I filled it up with water and sloshed it around real good, drove it around where it sloshed all over real good, and then turned the booms on and turned the spot sprayer on and run a bunch of water through it in an area where it won't matter, and then drained it and stored it back so it's ready for the next use. Okay, we're going to go get in and out of this sun for a little while. I'll be back with you later. About 7 p.m. and I'm on my way down to check water livestock tank, check our ram pump. I got it running earlier today, and I'm curious if it's run all day. I come down this morning and it had quit overnight last night. That level, while it runs longer than the half-inch pump did, even the 3/8 is still, over time, pulls that catchment tub down to the point the standpipe will no longer stay full. Boy, it's cool down here in these woods. It feels good. It's been hot today. Okay, right here is the stock tank. Hey, Waya. Sheep are grazing away. And Security Central's sitting right up there on top of the hill watching them. Man, has Waya turned out to be a good livestock dog. And she's still a puppy basically. She's just gonna get better and better. And the pump has indeed quit. And that's not unexpected. Depending on how long it's been quit, the tub could be back full. So let's just go take a look. The catchment tub. If it's been quit for a couple hours, and we've been gone this afternoon, later this evening, to see a good friend of mine that had a heart attack. And he's doing well, but prayers from all you Christian folks out there for him would be much appreciated. I don't need to say a name or anything like that. Just say, for Darren's friend, offer prayers when you talk to the good Lord for his healing. All right, we're here at the tub. Okay, it's pretty full. Look at that big old crawdad. And there's some little creek lizards in there too. All right, let me pour a little water down the drive pipe, see if I can get started back for at least an hour or two. We got the tree cleared out of our access road. As you can see here, there's the stump. I'd say Hurricane Helene did that. The ground was just so wet that it probably in the wind broke some roots, and then the moisture just rotted the roots. And the steel chainsaw took care of that. We did get the ram pump started back. And let's go to the stock tank and see in a few minutes if it starts pushing some water in. It should. And it'll probably run a couple hours. The half-inch pump ran about an hour at the most, 45 minutes at a time. This 3/8 pump's running about 2 hours at least, maybe 2.5. Susan's up there in the field feeding the dogs for the evening. I don't know if you can see her up there. She is right up there in the shed with the dogs and got goats, or sheep all around her. All right, this is not running yet. We'll give it a minute and see if it starts. Pump's running. I'd say it'll run for about 2 hours. Look who's coming. Why ya? Big puppy. What are you doing, big puppy? Huh? What are you doing, big girl? Huh? You a good girl. You a good girl. Security Central, ain't you? All right, we've had a great day today. We got to go visit a friend that's been sick, as I said earlier, and he's doing well. Way is a drinking. He's doing well. And we got some good neighbors, work done for them today. And it's just been a busy day. And test plot behind me back here is looking great. Waiting on weather. It's been beautiful today, and it was beautiful yesterday. It's supposed to be beautiful for about 3/4 of the day tomorrow, then rain the next day after tomorrow and the day after that. That's just kind of the pattern we're in. It really beautiful haymaking weather for a day or 2 or 3, then 2 to 3 days worth of rain, then pretty again. We're watching. I need to check Fernando's forecast to see when we can finally cut this test plot. It's ready. We don't have to worry about stems browning up because there hardly is any. This is going to be premium, primo, second cut hay, about all leafy matter. Orchard Timothy, fescue, a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass, and some red clover. It'll be great hay. Just when can we cut it? I don't know. We're watching and waiting. Look at that lazy barn cat. What are you doing, Peanut? Huh? What are you doing? I am not a cat fan, but I do like that cat. That's the only one. I think that's about the only cat I've ever tolerated very long. All right, let's go out to the chicken coop and gather some eggs. Hopefully we got some. Our chickens has not been laying all that good recently. I guess because of the heat. There's a couple of eggs. There's a couple more.
Hey Lola.
What you been up to?
Feeding the big fluffy white slobbery monster. The one that has to be hand fed or she won't eat. I don't know who started that habit with her. Yeah, I've been back there feeding the dogs and checking on my sheep.
How they doing?
The dogs or the sheep?
Both.
Oh, well, Waya thinks she's a little lamb now, or an overgrown lamb, and just lays with the sheep, and then she wrestles with Oakley, and they're all doing fine. Darren keeps trying to give my rooster away to some other farm channel. I tell you what, I like my rooster.
All right, it's getting pretty late in the evening. We're done with the farm chores. The ram pump's running for now. It'll probably run about 3 hours and it'll quit. The pressure in that tank will drop down. It is what it is. I'll start it back in the morning. We've been filming over the last couple of days, I'm sure as you can tell. So this is a good spot to end this video before it gets too long. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it, and I pray God blesses you and your family, and we pray y'all have a fantastic day.